it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. It's college football bowl season, and we're breaking down the Peach Bowl between Georgia and Cincinnati. So 2020 is almost over, thank goodness, and we've got a promo code to celebrate. The code is 2021 for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. The Bearcats are 9-0 on the year, 5-4 against the number. Georgia enters 7-2, 4-5 against the spread. Georgia favored in this one. -7, the total is 50.5. And of course, the Peach Bowl played in Atlanta, so really close for Georgia, a short drive from Athens here. And of course, we know the story for Cincinnati. They've been a really good team, really hoping for their outside shot at the college football playoff. Didn't quite happen, but this still is a big bowl game for them, facing a big-time SEC opponent. We've got Craig Trapp joining us to break it all down. Craig, your thoughts on Cincinnati and Georgia?
I think this one's going to come down to, as most bowls do, if you're not playing for, in the Final Four, it's motivation. What do the Bearcats have? Do they want to play with a chip on their shoulder and say, hey, if we beat Georgia, then we have a claim that we should have maybe gotten in instead of Notre Dame? But, if you don't, they'll be in trouble. In the same way with Georgia. If Georgia just says, hey, we're not in the bowl, we're not playing one of the blue chip teams, and we, just go through the motions, these teams get mowed down in bowl season. So I do think Cincinnati plays with a chip on their shoulder. I do think unless something happens that, the coaching situation changes, which that can happen here this time of year, I think Cincinnati will be a very, very motivated team and come in to give Georgia all they can handle.
Right, and something to keep tabs on, as you should in all bowl games, some of the notable opt-outs. Georgia has 3 all-SEC selections that will be opting out of this game. Quarterback Eric Stokes, linebacker Monty Rice, and offensive guard Ben Cleveland. So when we talk about motivation, you kind of look at some of these opt-outs and you wonder just how motivated are these teams to play in these games. I know it's a career decision for a lot of these guys, but still, if your teammates are opting out, it's a little different, I think. So you've got Georgia in this offense that's been a lot better since JT Daniels took over the quarterbacking position, which for Georgia this year, it's been their offense that has been a bit of a slow starter in a lot of these games. So I think that's definitely a good thing for Georgia's offense. And their defense, as always, has been one of the better ones in the SEC. However, Cincinnati, pretty solid as well. We mentioned they're undefeated, but they have not played an SEC schedule. How do you think these two match up, Craig? I know the strength of schedule is a little different, but when it comes to these bowl games, some people can be surprised by how good some of these other teams are.
The question will be, can Cincinnati run the ball like they've run the ball all year? If they can run the ball and control the game, they have a very good defense. Not just maybe the best secondary outside of the Power 5. And I think you'll see that. I think JT Daniels will struggle to pass the ball against this very good Cincinnati team. Now, if that's the truth, which I do think that will be a given, Cincinnati's defense, several of these guys are going to play on Sundays. If they can run the ball to go along with that, it's going to take a lot of, shorten the game, as they say. And if you do that, I think it gives Cincinnati a real shot here. That's why I like Cincinnati plus the 7 here. I think Coach Fickell will show why he is so highly thought of. I mean, he turned down the Michigan State job last year, and a lot of other jobs out there that would like Coach Fickell to be the next coach there. And he's going to, I think, give Cincinnati a shot to win this game. Maybe they win outright, maybe they don't. I do think they cover this big number here.
Yeah, I think that's the ticket, is how many points are you getting? Because honestly, I think it's going to be Georgia, but I'm just wondering by how much. Because as I mentioned, I think their offense has been a lot better, and that's been the problem for them in covering some of these numbers. Their offense just hasn't put up enough points, and the play calling has been so conservative that they just haven't been covering in some of these games. But the addition of JT Daniels and also George Pickens is an absolute beast at receiver. He makes some incredible plays in the end zone. And also you've got Zamir White at running back, as always. And I think when you have a dynamic passing attack, it definitely opens things up for the running game. But we'll see. I think the key thing for me is probably going to be the motivation. Which Georgia team will we see? Will they be motivated to run the score up enough to cover by a touchdown and also make all the extra points? Any other thoughts when it comes to the total on this one?
Yeah, I'm thinking under here. I just think both defenses are going to – I think it's going to be more about the defenses than the offenses. Cincinnati likes to run the ball, more methodical offense. They do get big plays from their running game, though, this year, but that was, like you said, in a conference that isn't great. The American Conference on paper looked decent at times this year, but you just don't know because none of these teams played outside. They didn't play a Big Ten team, they didn't play an SEC team. So I think they'll have a little harder time running the ball, and I do think Cincinnati defense will hold Georgia intact.
Worth noting, Cincinnati has three straight games to the over. Georgia 4 straight games to the over. But Georgia, when it comes to their points totals, it's almost like NFL games. They're actually pretty low. So something else to keep your eye on when the total is 50.5. All right, well, that's going to do it for our college football bowl talk here on Picks and Parlays. Great stuff from Craig Trapp. As always, Craig, thanks for joining us.